Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the forward discussion on AI and technology. I have a stellar panel with us today. My name's Liz Moscrop, I'm with GearUp TV, and I'm your host and moderator. And I'm going to ask the panel to introduce themselves one by one. They are brilliant.
Thank you. My name is Steve Varsano. I have a company called The Jet Business. We're an aircraft brokerage business with a retail street front showroom in London. And we represent buyers, sellers, or buy aircraft for our own account and then resell them on.
Yeah, hi there. My name is Tomislav. I'm the founder and owner of FLYVBird. We are an aviation tech company looking into delivering the first decentral connected airplanes and airfares to our customers on a total different scale.
Magrini. I am a consultant to aviation companies.
Diego, do you want to try this?
Yep, that's better. I'm Diego Magrini. I'm a consultant to technology companies and business aviation companies. My background is in technology and business aviation operations, and I help startups and scale-ups get to grips with technology, especially in this very fast-paced world.
Hello. Hi, I'm Dave Falberg from Satcom Direct. I'm the VP of International, responsibility for the business unit outside of the Americas. Satcom Direct provides connectivity solutions to the business aviation, military government sectors. Our ethos really and our mission is to provide the best possible customer experience through connecting all of the technologies that we provide through to the aircraft.
I'm Greg Jarrett. I'm the CEO at STACK.aero, and we provide the business operations system for any charter company or charter sales team in the aviation industry. We're powered by Salesforce.com, and we're partnered with them as well. And if you're looking for a CRM system to run your charter business or your aviation business, we are the system to turn to.
This is AI, yes, it's collaborative microphoning here. As I said, we have a stellar panel with you, and for those watching later, all of these guys are top of the game, both business and technologically. Diego, would you define AI for us?
So in a lot of systems, we are used to having functions that are called deterministic. So you put an input or various inputs, and there is a function that you know what it's doing. You've wrote it to give a specific output given a specific input. AI and machine learning works a bit differently in that you are not exactly defining how to change the input into an output, but you are training the algorithm to see patterns in the inputs and then come out with an output. So you usually train an AI on a large set of data so that it's more able to figure out different inputs. And so far, let's say, widespread in the industry until 2022, we were working with type of AI, machine learning systems that needed very specific training. So you had to show them a lot of examples on how to do a job. And what we are seeing now with the advancement of deep learning the large language models, most commonly known ChatGPT and other generative technologies, is a new class of AI, let's say, where the training, the machine is kind of learning inside itself. So given a problem and asked to figure out how to do it with a massive amount of data, it tries to find a pattern, and sometimes you get to very, very interesting outputs. So we are looking at something which is getting closer to how human thinks, or how we think that human thinks.
Oh, thank you. And I love what you're putting out on LinkedIn and on socials about this. So generative AI is data that's learning from itself, and it's extrapolating and making intuitive guesses. Now, Steve, I know that your background and you are very entrepreneurial, and you've been excellent at spotting what is the next great tech thing coming forward and applying it into your business. You were the first one to use an app in broker years ago, before anyone had even heard of it. Where are you seeing AI and how it could apply to what you do?
Well, I mean, first of all, our industry really, until recently, AI, to most of the people in this convention, thought was archaic intelligent. And there's a lot of older people, that are in our industry. I mean, I'm definitely the oldest one here. I'm the only guy who is still wearing a tie. I'm the only guy who doesn't have a beard. And I don't understand the technicalities of artificial intelligence and the software and the implementation like these guys do. But I know from an end user standpoint, we have to adapt now to all the changes that are going on in the world. And there are words that, we're talking about that weren't in our vocabulary even 10 years ago. Whether it's AI, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it's, social media, whether it's eVTOL, whether it's blockchain, cryptocurrency, whatever it is. And we have to adapt. And if we don't, we're going to, the industry is just going to fall behind and be back in the prehistoric times. So I'm listening and learning actually from these guys. But from my standpoint, our app that we have is based on static information. I mean, our information in our app takes you through a process, how you select what kind of an airplane to buy, but it's based on fixed data. And it's just reformatted to be able to merchandise it in a different way to potential clients. But what AI is doing is actually it's taking that data and it's thinking for you. And it's actually, you thought you had a question and you're looking for an answer, but this AI is actually thinking beyond that question and giving you answers to other questions you didn't even know. So I think what we're trying to do in our business is to try to figure out how to incorporate this AI to become more efficient in finding clients and using all the data that we've had all the 10, 15, 20 years of the CRM system and calling people. How do we make this more efficient in who to call, when to call, what to say, and the history of our background, instead of going through handwritten notes and things like that. So we're still learning, and we're hopefully going to incorporate all this new data as it becomes available.
And thank you. And you do yourself a little injustice there. Go check Steve's social media feed out. It's an education in a good way. Thomas, or Tommy, may I call you Tommy? Prefer? Yeah. Now, I've known you in a couple of different guises, also very entrepreneurial and also someone who can harness the power of new tech. Where is AI and new technology fitting into your new business?
Yeah, thank you, gentlemen. Yeah, so we have asked ourselves what has to be done differently. When I sold Skywalker Airlines 2013, I always had to look back. I always had to take best guess. What are the next routes that we open up? Is it London City? Is it Budapest? Where can I make money? And the technology was not there from an AI perspective, but also the aircraft were not there yet. In the past 2 years, me and my partners, one of my co-founders, Anton Lutz, we were looking into technology, and we have found a magic juice how we can deliver decentral market connectivity based on AI technology. So this is why we have come up with our aviation tech solution, which will help us derive the perfect, efficient network that will change on a daily basis. So what are we doing? We're giving the power of the airline to our customers. Our customers will tell us their appropriate decentral markets they want to be connected to. We can offer that because we will be using current aviation technology with a Tecnam P2012 that can fly into airports below 900 meters. We're looking already into future technologies, electrifying aviation, having aircraft in place that can land on even smaller strips, and offering for this whole new industry there to come, markets that are untouched until today. So the fulfillment algorithm and the product algorithm and the mathematicians behind that are running the whole time a new calculation on the best way possible to utilize our aircraft with the requested demand that is coming from our passengers. And that actually extracts into a perfect fit for the customer and us, because we get with this technology approach a much faster and better guess on how our networks look like. You cannot build it on a classical airline model. It's scalable. So we're looking into 100 aircraft plus in the next 5 years. But you cannot do that with big aircraft at the beginning. So we're looking at 9-seaters. We know that from business aviation, there is a demand to fly into those decentral markets, but they are not available. I mean, small example. My technology would have told me, don't fly with this airline via Zurich to Geneva, take FlyVe because I can get you to Geneva much faster in and out. And this is what our technology will do. Be faster, be more efficient, and automatically be much more sustainable because we'll be flying on routes that are needed and not guessing whether we should spend our fuel on certain routes, which makes the whole system much more efficient.
Which feeds really nicely into what Greg is up to with and evolving and developing the charter market and helping to augment the industry. So with Tommy's new aircraft and perfect routes and places we can go to, how would that feed into what you're doing?
Yeah, a lot of what we're doing is looking at identifying patterns in the way that customers are traveling. So, and not across the market, this is just within one single operator or a charter company or a broker, taking a look at their individual customers and looking at the patterns of where they're flying, and AI is the thing that can identify the patterns that the humans can't see. So bringing in the procurement data through Avinode or through the integrations that we have, that allows them to see where the supply is available and the pricing of that supply. But then you need to layer in the customer requests and what the customers are, where they're looking to travel. And then you layer in the customer travel history, where they've gone before, where they've requested before. And if you can put an AI layer on top of all of that, it's like an in-house analytics team working on your data, telling you that these are the places that you can be flying, you can put your aircraft here. Your customer is very likely to request a trip to Geneva in the next 7 days based on his or her travel history. So that AI layer on top of all the data that you're collecting in your systems is extremely powerful. And it's layering in two aspects. There's the things that you're looking for. You know the problem, but you don't know the answer. You're trying to get a result of some sort. That's kind of the machine learning part of AI. But the true generative AI is the thing that generates additional information that you as a human can't even see. It's so deeply embedded in the data that you've got that you need a machine to process that volume of data in that sort of time. And if you can do that to build a customer profile of the person you're talking to on the phone right now, that's extremely powerful because it's better customer service, and that builds a better client relationship. Happier customer equals a better industry for everyone.
And that's fantastic. And from the business's point of view, that's brilliant. Now, from the customer's point of view, of course, they want to know that their data is secure and not everybody has access to it. That's, I think, where you come in at Satcom Direct, isn't it? It's part of where you guys come in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I guess from our perspective, we kind of touch this in two different ways. We're kind of an enabler. So much of the data that's generated on board the aircraft, we're actually ferrying that to and from. But we're also a protector. So the cybersecurity wraparound that we have for all of the services on board the aircraft are really, really tightly linked with the way in which that data flows to and from. Each part of the offering that we provide through to our customers is linked to another, it's integrated. So whether that's the data from the avionics on board, our antennas, the routers on board, whether it's our software which is synchronizing the flight ops teams, whether that's from the network side. And just to note on that, on the network side, there is such a vast amount of data which is available from the networks that part of the challenge is knowing what to do with that data and get it to the right places. And so we've spent an awful lot of time working with the network partners to integrate and build and develop our antennas to be integrated with the networks. And what that does is it gives us a greater level of exposure to the support metrics that we need to provide the level of support that we guarantee for our customers. We kind of work on a we know before you know basis. And that really is only possible because of these metrics which are being generated both by the aircraft, the avionics, the hardware, the software, all blending together to give us a picture as to either prescriptively or describing an issue or proactively engaging and being able to sort that. So there's a whole raft of data which is being generated from the aircraft. The way in which we're able to connect the aircraft now is more capable than it's ever been. And so it stands to reason that there is more and more data points available on the aircraft. As these aircraft become more and more capable, the accessibility, the usability increases. And as those volumes increase, then it stands to reason that the security elements around that need to be robust enough to support that. There's lots of really critical data flowing to and from the aircraft, but there is also data which is, personal data, which is data which cannot get out into, the public domain. And so our task really, using a number of different methods, but primarily technology, is to protect that data. And we can do that either on board the aircraft, so we're using AI to monitor all of the different threat types that are available on, or could be happening on board an aircraft, and making sure that we're able to get that. That's only something that could be done through that type of, analysis and metrics. We're also creating different environments for transporting that data from the aircraft to the ground and making sure that we offer full encryption all the way back down to the ground. And all of these things together help us to create, I guess, an environment where we're able to enable these data sets to feed to the right areas of the business so that accurate and actionable data is what we like to call it. It's data is one thing, but being able to use it is another, and having it in the right place at the right time is another. And through our product set and our wrap, that's what we're trying to deliver, is make sure that it's in the right hands at the right time for a fully synchronized
And I just
operation.
I could listen to all of you all day, and I know we're a little short on time, and what I would love to hear is, and start with Diego, just first of all, what could be possible threats with AI? And then I want to come back and say where we can see it'll really, really enhance the industry. So just can I get fairly succinct, where would you see, Diego, AI could be a threat to our industry?
Well, I think it's being increasingly easier to fake stuff, to trick humans into believing that something is real. If you've ever tried to generate a picture using Midjourney, which is now one of the most advanced picture image generation algorithm or tool out there, you know how realistic that can be. Layer that on top of the fact that to Midjourney you can give my picture and then say, well, this guy while falling down a cliff, right? So there is a threat, visual threats, the possibility of generating text sounding like someone. A lot of people speak about spam as a potential risk. What's good is on the other side, you can use technology, and I was talking about this with Dave yesterday over dinner. You can use technology to help enable humans to see a bit beyond what they see when they open an email. Is it phishing? We are becoming so complacent with the fact that certain things may be tagged as spam. When I was arranging a meeting with someone here at EBACE, I said, I didn't get your meeting invite, and said, look in your spam. Well, if it's in my spam, it means that something is misconfigured, right? So AI can then help us get a bit out of this complacency.
You've gone into the best bits about it. I want to get the evil bits first, and then we'll go good. Steve, evil AI.
Well, I'm always worried about hackers getting into my system of data. There's no question about it. But even corporations who are flying on corporate jets, they don't want to have their communications intercepted. They don't want to be able to get that converted and exposed to anybody else. They don't want flight tracking. That's not artificial intelligence. That's simple information that's available today. So even the simplest kind of advanced technology today is so easy to misuse and abuse. And this is, sort of damaging for our industry because it chases people away from what we're trying to accomplish. Privacy, confidentiality, efficiency, and these kind of things could hurt those efforts.
I'll take it from a different approach. In 22 years, I've always been responsible. The main thing was safety, managing an airline, ramping up an airline. offering safe operation. And the most important thing is that we don't use AI or technology and just trust it because we think it's cozy and easy. I think that's in danger. So always questioning whether answers are correct, whether information that is flowing in is put in the right field. So I see a high safety risk if the human is being taken out of that system. So I would always have the human decide at the last instance whether something is right or wrong, because in this industry we have proven that safety comes with human factor, and that human factor is one of the most important things to give safety to our customers, and that's what our customers want. I don't believe in having an aircraft one day where you don't have a pilot. I don't believe in that. I wouldn't sit in that. I want to have this guy in front there who also wants to be at home in the evening, and I will feel much more comfortable with something like that. So it's trust. Put your trust into technology, but don't lose control of it.
Nice one. Dave?
Yeah, I mean, as I was listening to that, I was thinking it's kind of a balance, right? I mean, on one hand, it's such a powerful tool to be able to crunch that amount of data, put it in the right areas and make these decisions. But on the other side, you know, if it's too loose, then you lose that advantage, and it's getting that balance. From a security standpoint, I mean, the ultimate way of securing an aircraft is, in terms of connectivity, switch off the connectivity, right? But that's a really poor customer experience. And so there has to be balance as to how we set this up. And so the art really is making sure that there are restrictions in place which are going to capture and protect against, you know, 99% of the issues out there that we know about, but still are loose enough that they enable customers to have, in their mind, a free experience on the aircraft. And that's kind of the challenge, and that's what we're striving to give through to our customers.
Greg?
And I think similar to what Diego was saying, my biggest fear is misinformation generated by AI. So a generative AI has no idea whether the thing it's giving back to you is right or wrong. It's just a thing. And so it's still reliant on the human to look at it and go, is this authentic? Can I trust this? And so consumers and clients traveling on aircraft are going to be more, they're going to get better information out of these AI engines that they're able to search using Google and Bing and whatever. It's going to be about establishing trust with that person and comparing what they've got from that AI thing they've searched and what you're telling them. If there's a difference between that information, you're going to have to establish trust, because they're going to trust the machine more than they're going to trust the human initially. So misinformation for me is the biggest risk. That has the capability to erode trust between clients and our industry, and that has a negative impact on everyone. So it's misinformation generated by these things.
So, deep fake, holographic Tom Cruise flying a virtual aircraft and with no real information there. Worst case scenario, breaking into everyone's data. Other way around, let's just very quickly, what is the best thing that AI could bring to our industry in your best imagination?
It's exactly the same. It's clients have access to information and they're better educated. So the more access that these clients have to research the trip they're doing or the aircraft they want to buy or the aircraft they're flying on, if they're better equipped to ask the right questions when they're booking that trip or buying that aircraft, they're going to get a better outcome because they're better educated. They just have access to more information.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a copy and repeat. I think the best thing that can happen from this is, you know, continuing to increase operational efficiencies, which has a knock-on effect into, our customers' ability to meet their sustainability objectives through increased efficiency and decision-making around the aircraft and what they're doing. I think AI is a really powerful tool in us being able to take the steps along that, and the mix of everything that we see on board the aircraft enable us to provide that kind of insight. So I think that, you know, that really is one of the major points of AI that I think is really positive.
I would like to take a bit of a human aspect, because one of the things that I've been exploring with large language models is what application they could have in training. And I find, speaking with a lot of people, that in our industry, there's kind of a stigma about asking questions. It sounds like you should know, and I found that people relate with technology in a different way than with people. Because you might judge me if I ask you a question because it sounds like I don't know that thing, the machine doesn't judge me. And I saw this very interesting experiment that was done by a school with school-age kids, primary school, and basically they created a tool which was safe for them. It was fact-checked in the parts that were it was allowed to reply. It was not allowed to reply in certain ways. It was going more towards other type of answers rather than giving solutions, and it really worked well to help kids explore that matter. And I think training is a very interesting aspect that we can develop. And I love the data. I'm a data guy, but there is a very strong human aspect that I think it's worth exploring and keeping in mind.
Yeah, and in our specific case, I'm super happy that in 5 years of time, we will be able to locate you here at EBACE, and you tell us where's your final address, and we make the things happen. The car will be waiting for you, our aircraft will be taking you to the next place, and from there on, you can have your final journey. And that's what you cannot do alone. For this, you need the support of technology. This is why we want to use technology, because we really believe that a huge added value is if we can shorten the time used for travel to our customers, to basically give them time back. And this is what the technology will help us doing in offering a pure on-demand air services, and you will be booking FlyV like an Uber car one day.
At the end of the day, if you read the news, you're uninformed, and if you don't read it, you're misinformed, or vice versa. You're misinformed when you read it, you're uninformed when you don't read it. The fact of the matter is human intelligence today is the only thing that's the backdrop that you can rely on, and artificial intelligence is not at a point yet that we can really make the next move based on it. It's a great stepping stone, but human intelligence is still the only thing we can rely on today.
What a great panel. Thank you so much, Steve, Tommy, Diego, Greg, Dave and Greg. If you want to find out more about any of these gentlemen, we'll put up ways that you can connect with them on socials and on their websites. Thank you to UAS, and if anyone has any questions for the panel, I'm sure they'd be willing to stick around for a couple of minutes later, but thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.